Okay, we can start. So hello everyone, here is Group B. My name is Zhang Chun and my trade number is 8206957. And today I will be the moderator for another upcoming panel discussion on SDG 14, Life Below Water. So as a moderator, my responsibility will be to provide background and context at the beginning of the panel, introduce each panelist and their focus area, facilitate discussion, pose questions, and connect ideas across topics. And finally, deliver a summary that highlights our group's shared understanding and solutions. So as we all know, SDG 14 aims to conserve and sustainably use the oceans, seas, and marine resources. Oceans are critical to life on Earth. They cover 70% of the planet, regulate climate, and support biodiversity and livelihood. Despite their importance, the oceans are under serious threat. According to the United Nations Environment Programme UNEP 2023 report, marine ecosystems are facing triple threats. And one is pollution, and the number two is biodiversity loss, and the third one is climate change. These threats are not isolated, they are deeply connected and forcing each other. So according to the United Nations Environment Programme in the 2023 report measuring progress, water-related ecosystem and SDGs, only 15% of global coastal areas remain in the natural state due to pollution, biodiversity loss, and climate change. Furthermore, ocean-related data has improved. The number of reportable SDG 14 indicators has increased from 1 to 4. Giving us a more complete picture of marine ecosystem health. Yet despite its efforts, global progress on environmental targets remains far behind, especially in terms of marine pollution, overfishing, and habitat destruction. So in light of these findings, our group decided to approach SDG 14 from 4 critical perspectives, each representing a key challenge and a potential solution for the future of our oceans. So the number 1 is plastic pollution, number 2 is overfishing, and number 3 is coastal eutrophication, and the number 4 is tropical marine biodiversity, Malaysia's unique contribution and global significance. So I believe that the UNEP report offers a strong evidence-based foundation for our discussion. It not only revolves the scale of the crisis, but also reminds us that with the right data and collaborative action can turn the tide literally. And now welcome Yang Jingyi to introduce the first perspectives about the plastic pollution. So Yang, what impacts does plastic pollution have on the ocean?
Okay. As we know, a plastic bag you casually throw away many takes 500 years to decompose in the sea, longer than your great grandchildren. And plastic pollution has a significant impact on sea life. Every year, we know 8 million tons of plastic waste enter the ocean each year, including plastic bags, bottles, and packages. If the trend continues, the total weight of plastic in the ocean could surpass that of fish by 2015. And the persistence of plastic pollution. Plastic are extremely resistant to natural degradation. An ordinary plastic bottle takes 415 years to fully break down, and during this time, it fragments into smaller pieces but never truly disappears. And the microplastic of the plastic pollution is a significant impact on the on this problems. Larger plastics items break down into microplastics. Uh, part Particles smaller than 5 mm due to sunlight, waves, and wind. These microplastics and spread worldwide, even reaching remote polar regions and the deep sea sediments. Okay, that's the impact
So
on, yeah.
yeah, what impact? So I wanted to ask, what impact plastic pollution have on the marine life?
Okay. Mm, did you know how much plastic do you think a seabird will eat throughout its life? The answer is an average of over 300 pieces, which is equivalent to eating a credit card every day. That's a huge data, right? Many marine animals cannot distinguish plastic from food. For example, sea turtles often mistake floating plastic bags for jellyfish and some deep sea fish, leading to intestinal blockages and starvation. And some studies show that more than 90% of sea birds have plastic in their stomachs. Chicks and are particularly vulnerable because their parents may accidentally feed them plastic, causing poisoning.
Yeah. So can you introduce the impact about the human health?
Okay, if you like eating seafood such as fish, shrimps, and sailfish, then you might also be eating plastic. Research has found that one in every six oysters contains microplastics, and this plastic may come from the garbage we discard. Um, did you know microplastic are first consumed by plankton, then passed up the food chain to small fish and larger predators? Seafood lovers may unknowingly ingest microplastics through fish and shellfish. And recent studies estimate that humans ingest around 5 grams of microplastic weekly through food, water, and air in violence to the weight and a critical long-term exposure may pose unknown health risks. And what we can do for these problems, for individuals, we can do small in the daily life. Everyone can reduce single-use plastics by choosing reusable bags, bottles, and utensils. But governments have bigger power than us. And the companies should also promote eco-friendly alternatives like paper straws and biodegradable package. And
Okay,
some,
so here it is
okay,
your solution about your subtopics, right?
yeah.
Okay, so okay, we can continue. Yeah.
Okay, and then some continues. We know US, USA, or Japan have banned the single-use plastic through laws like the EU single-use plastic decreatable use probate items like plastic straws, cutlery, and cotton swabs.
Okay, that is your solution. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you for Yang, and this is our first topics. Okay, let us to move to the next subtopic is about the overfishing. The overfishing is presented by Sun Qin. So, what is overfishing?
Overfishing is a removal of a species of fish from a body of water at a rate greater than the species can replenish its population naturally, resulting in the species becoming increasingly underpopulated in that area.
Okay, so I noticed that. Okay, so what do you think about the decreasing number of marine life?
Yes, let me introduce it for you. Let's take the Grand Banks of the Newfoundland in Canada as an example. There was once a legend that one could walk ashore on the backs of cod, but now it has fallen into a fishless tragedy because fishermen always choose to catch larger and the mature cod. The size of cod has become smaller and smaller, and the population has been shrinking and even facing disappearance. Look at the small yellow croaker, and we were familiar with this in the 1950s, the proportion of sexually mature small yellow croakers as about 1 year old was only 5%, which changed to 40 in 1980s and expanded to 74% to 100% at the beginning of this century.
Okay, there is the answer. Okay, let's move to the next question. So, what can you introduce about disrupt the reproductive cycle of marine organisms?
Yes. So, overfishing also disrupts the breeding cycle of underwater creatures. Take the small yellow croakers as an example. In the past, only 1 year old small yellow croakers could reproduce. Now, almost all 1 year old small yellow croakers has to reproduce. This is because too many big fish have been caught, so the small one has to grow up and produce earlier. But if this going on, the small yellow croakers will become weaker, and their babies may not healthy, and the whole fish population will get worse. It's like asking the child who hasn't grown up yet to do the adult work.
So, okay, so what about the trophic level of the ecosystem in is unbalanced?
Yes, as we know, the underwater world is like a big net, and every creature has its place. When we catch a larger number of fish, this net gets all messed up. For example, when a lot of sharks are caught, the small fish they eat will increase. These small fish will then eat more plankton. When there's less plankton, the whole underwater ecosystem will have big problems. This is called the chain reaction of the food web.
Okay, so can you also to show us about the habitat destruction and backcatch? This is the
Sure,
fourth one. Yeah.
sure. Let me first talk about the habitat destruction. So, destructive fishing method pose one of the gravest threats to marine biodiversity, with bottom trawling leading the charge in habitat destruction. This fishing practice involves dragging heavy nets across the seafloor, devastating a critical marine habitat like coral reefs, seagrass bed, and the deep sea communities that have taken countries to develop. And the bycatches, the impact of a fishery activity is not only targeted at target economic species. When we fish or a specific species, we always salvage other marine life, which is bycatch. According to the statistic from the World Fund for Nature, more than 300,000 whales and dolphins are trapped in the trials every year. Yeah.
Okay, so conclude your sport part. Can you give us the solution? Solutions.
Yes,
Yeah.
I think the solutions of overfishing can divide it into two parts. And the first part is social level. The first one is formulate relevant laws and the strengthen supervision. It's stipulated that the fishermen cannot go out to the sea to catch fish in specific season, and the maternity leave is given to the fish. And the second one is establish a marine protected area and build a safe home for underwater organisms. And the third one is design more environmentally friendly fishing tools to reduce the occurrences by bycatch. And for our personal level, I think each of us can also do our part. For example, we can choose to eat fish that are abundant and grow quickly, and refuse to eat things like shark fin made from endangered creatures. When we go to the restaurant and see dishes made from endangered fish on the menu, we should bravely say no. And we can also tell the people around us how important it is to protect underwater life. Yeah.
Yeah, that is all for your subtopics. Okay, thank you very much, Sui Wanda, for sharing. Okay, let us to move the third subtopics about the coastal eutrophication. It's presented by Lu Siru. So, Lu, could you introduce us to what exactly is coastal eutrophication?
Yeah, I'd like to bring up something new but really important. Coastal eutrophication is a big issue that affects marine life all over the world and make it harder for us to achieve SDG 14, life below water. Basically, this happens when too many nutrients like nitrogen and phosphorus end up in coastal waters. This mostly come from farming, sewage, and industrial waste. A study by Malone and Newton says about 24% of nitrogen from human activities actually flows into the ocean. The extra nutrients cause algae to grow super fast. When those algae die, bacteria break them down and use up all the oxygen, creating dead zones where fish and other sea life cannot survive. This not only hurts marine biodiversity, but also impacts fishing, tourism, and the local economy. Yeah, this is a serious problem that really shows how our actions online can mess with life in the sea.
Okay, so could you give us some specific examples to introduce?
Yeah, a notable example is the seasonal dead zone in the Gulf of Mexico, one of the largest worldwide, appearing annually along the Louisiana-Texas coastline. This dead zone is primarily caused by nutrient-rich agricultural runoff and urban wastewater carried by Mississippi Atchafalaya River system. The consequences are really strict and bad. Reduced marine pollutions, economic impact on local fisheries, and disrupted the ecosystem. And it is not just marine animals that suffer from eutrophication, it hurts people too. Thinking about it, when fish population drop because of the dead zones, who affected? Fishermen, local communities, even the seafood industry as a whole. The research by Muller and Newton actually pointed out that fishing industries have been hit hard, and tourism also take a big hit. When beaches getting covered in algae or the water looks gross and unsafe, would you want to swim in green, smelly water? And here's a shocking example. Toxic algae blooms, also called phytoplankton event, have damaged fisheries, polluted ecosystem, even put public health at risk. In the European Union, the cost of this damage around 1 billion every year. That's huge. So when we talk about protecting the ocean, we are not just talking about the sea turtle and the coral reefs. It's about protecting our livelihood, our food, and our economies too.
So, okay. So, can you give us your solution about this subtopics?
Yeah, so how do we actually fix this eutrophication? I think we need a multiple step approach. First, we got to damage nutrient better. That means use smarter farming method and improve wastewater treatment. So less nutrient and phosphorus get wastewater into our river and ocean. Second, we need to keep tracking and researching what's happening. If we understand where the nutrients are coming from and how they move, we can spot problems early and take actions before it get worse. And third, we need stronger rules and enforcement. Government and the global organization really need to step and limit pollution at the source. Like Mala and Newton mentioned, the countries like the United States, the EU, and China are already trying to manage this through policies, but it need to go even further. So yeah, these are the strategies I believe we can rely on.
Okay, thank you for rules and for sharing. Okay, let's to move the fourth. It's about the tropical marine biodiversity, Malaysia's unique contribution and global significance. It's presented by He Rengang So He. Can you introduce the global value of Malaysia marine ecology?
Okay. Hello, John. As a Malaysian marine research scientist, I would like to emphasize the irreplaceable significance of underwater's life of human survival and development, and how this important directly supports the achievement of sustainable development global 14. First, let me introduce global value of Malaysian marine ecologies. From the perspective of the most basic survival needs, it ensures the supply of oxygen. Marine phytoplankton contribute 50% of the oxygen on Earth. In our Malaysian waters, the productivity of phytoplankton directly affects the regional climate and air qualities. Now, also, it is a climate stabilizer. Our researchers revealed that the sea waters in Straits of Malacca absorb a significant amount of carbon dioxide every year, with an efficiency 20 times that of tourism forests. This nature's process of vital importance in mitigating global warming.
Okay, so the second question, can you introduce the direct contribution of our underwater life to Malaysian society?
Sure, okay. Let me introduce the contribution of our wildlife. Fishermen, they have fishermen and food securities. There are 300,000 fishermen in countries relies on marine resources. And seafood provides 16% of the animal's protein intakes. And also, it can enhance the eco-tourism economies. The diving excursions in Spendas generate over 200 million ringgit annually.
Okay, so let's move to the third question. What do you think about the medical value in your subtopics, your research? Yeah.
Okay, for the medical values, I think our research in the Eastern Malaysian waters has discovered various marine organisms with medical value. There is sponge extract that shows anti-cancer properties, and compounds in the venoms of sea snakes can be used to develop an anti-hypertensive drug. And the compounds in corals have antibacterial potentials.
Okay, so what do you think about the Malaysians' experience in contributing to SDG 14?
I think for our target 14.2 is about the ecosystems protections. Establish protect areas such as Sultan's Abjos, Redmond's Marine Park, but enforcement needs to be strengthened because they have only 50% of the protected areas are complexly close to fissions.
Okay, that is also so. One last question. How can ordinary people participate?
I think we can purchase seafoods certified by MSCs or ASCs and reduce the use of disposable plastics. Act activities participate in volunteers activities such as beaches cleanup and coral reef monitoring to protect the oceans. We can establish a national coral health early warning system and promote the citizen scientist programs, allowing divers to assist in recording coral data.
Okay, that is all your subtopics. Okay, thank you for your sharing. Okay, everyone. Our 4 parts is already in, and let me do the conclusion. So today we discussed about the 4 parts: plastic pollution, overfishing, coastal eutrophication, and tropical marine biodiversity, Malaysia unique contributions and global significance. So we can know about something important thing in our discussion. We need to protect the earth, protect the life below water, because the ocean is also the part of the earth. We need to follow that C14, this purpose, and to try the best to protect the world, to protect the earth, and make the better future to the human. Okay, that is all for our group's panel discussion. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.